entirely up to you.
Yeah. Well, hopefully nobody will.
But I should get the heads up from Kristen when they're inbound. So
When they're inbound afterwards, you mean?
yes, we'll have time to kind of get set up.
Yeah, well, you set me up for that.
You know, so they did say, I think I'm pretty sure they said it
was good of them, you know. Many companies doing things for people.
well, it wasn't so much the company as this. I would do it in a heartbeat. I just, it's, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that it's, as a poor parent, it's like a lot of kids.
Yeah, he does.
What day is that?
I'll have to look it up in the book.
I mean, we were probably going to go for a while.
No, man, we'll be there for all of it.
You know, you never.
It's horrific.
It is, but even if it's. When I heard them, I think to myself, that's something you never think about. Doing something like that, you know?
Both those guys.
Yeah, it's just creepy. Yeah. So how's everything doing? Good?
Yeah, not bad at all. Making it. Living the dream. Every day.
It's a nightmare part of the times that I just can't wake up from, but other than that, it's.
Your location. Is there a different building?
Yeah, we're around for pushing.
Probably wasn't all those years ago either.
So everyone's kind of crammed with a quick fishing.
There you go. One way or the other.
We got another Steeler.
Hey, we're like the flu. We're everywhere.
I know, it's horrible.
It's true. You can't get rid of us.
Oh,
Pleasure. Good to meet in person.
yes, I get your emails daily, so now I know.
Sorry, not sorry.
Don't say sorry. They're vital information.
I'm trying, man. I'm doing my best. That's all I can do.
No, I know you are.
Small world. Life is good. Did you guys do
Well, that's why somebody said there would be cookies and fresh. That's
Someone said they'd be punching pie.
yeah, that's why I showed up, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only reason.
Punching pie.
He does.
I think we're all pretty
Just
good.
need no round. That's it. More humid than I expected.
Yeah, a little bit. Suit looks great.
Just a touch.
Suit looks great.
Good. As long as it's holding up.
So they were just like, you're in a full suit. Like, this is not coming off.
No. No.
This is a fortress.
You're in it now. You're in it for the long haul.
We've made the movement.
Well, should we get back to the shorts?
You always do.
Yeah, you do in the
Hey.
winter. What?
This man has seen some things.
He's seen a few things.
Try to forget.
We worked together in a lifetime ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You still keep up with Eric Alfire?
A little bit, yeah.
He just bought a townhome in Malden? Yeah,
That sounds fun.
in Green Bay.
Upstate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's still at what the call it?
Who's that?
Eric Alfire.
Oh, yeah.
He left YFF right before I did.
Oh, did
He's with like a tech company now. He's like technical
That's
director.
right.
running
Because I remember him on.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a
Facebook
long
bragging
time. I
about-
wonder what happened to him.
He's still kicking.
Okay, still alive. That's good.
Oh yeah, he's good people.
I run into him every once in a while. He's so cool.
Oh yeah. Oh absolutely. And it's
Easy money. Easy.
especially when you're around my contract.
Whatever you want.
Do you are you on 2 year, 3 year?
Mine's a two. I'm on two. Sometimes I'll try to lock them in for three. Because people like if they decide they're going to lay people off, they owe me a lot of money.
It's true.
If they do it in the middle of a contract.
Oh, absolutely.
I got to teach the younger guys that.
Because I didn't tell you 10 years ago. So you guys, this is really bad.
You know how to do it correctly.
Is that what
Yeah.
things, like you're trying to sign me a deal. I'll tell you exactly how much it's like.
Not wrong.
Wonders about contracts too.
Oh, well,
Ours are pretty much boilerplate contracts. They don't change. Sinclair has fucking contracts that they won't change. Everything looks the same except for the dollar amounts and maybe the positions.
I tried so many things when I got this, and I was just like, guys, finish up with it.
I'm leaving the industry. Leave me alone, right?
Right. Well, or it's just like, or if I go back,
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah.
Right.
I can understand the non-contract.
Sure.
For like a direct.
Period of time.
Sure.
For a year, whatever it is in the contract.
Yes, you're in a different part of the world. You're not hurting
I know
anybody.
they harass quite a few people.
Good luck.
And they're like, sure. Some of them hate it.
We just said, good, I'm out of here.
Pay the lawyer like $300 to write stuff.
To just draw it out, and by the time.
Right, let's say, hey, contact my client again, blah, blah, we'll turn around to you, blah, blah, this contract is going blah, 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 blah. Send it in, and they're like, never hear from me again.
They don't want to deal with it.
No, they said you might have to pay something. I said put it in writing.
Only if you
Sure, it's like, absolutely. Absolutely, put it in writing.
But yeah, this one with the red handle.
I say because I don't have the right amount for mine because apparently it's been
No, don't neither.
I love it. I love journalism.
Yeah, this is mine. We'll probably obviously slide in when everything gets started.
yeah, about like do you
Hire someone who knows how to do this the right way.
have you can
Well, I didn't.
And I met plenty of them along the way.
my camera.
I was ready. Oh.
Okay.
They don't give people. They hire it.
We like research. Make yourself look like a fool. Well, it's always up to the discretion of the local management. If they want to go to bat and to their corporate master and say, just leave this person alone, they usually do it. But a lot of them don't want to fight that battle.
And they can scare the younger folks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, they don't know, and absolutely economics. I don't care how much.
Yeah, if you're going to pay $4 or $5 grand, and
We'll just kind of get it clear.
It's still, no matter how much money, it's still, that's a lot of money. Yeah. Still sour about Andy Page.
Oh yeah, did they go after him?
They did.
I think Fitz claimed they were going to pay it for him.
Yeah, they did.
But then they maybe tried to hit him with a non-compete.
But he's not on air.
No, I know.
Oh, it's complete.
Digital.
It wouldn't hold up in court ever.
No.
I mean, it's a different medium, so it's...
No. And there's always I'm under mental duress,
Creating a hostile
and
work
they won't go after you. Then.
if you're legitimately creating a hostile work environment, you're threatening people, and you're creating a.
I've got to go. I can't work here anymore. My health is not good. Maybe back down and just go to jail. I noticed that.
Here's the thing. I've known people. It's bad.
And it's usually
Well, and I was the last generation of like,
yes, work.
right now it's just turning around. It's like, I still love it now. Just not my sheet. I love it.
No, you don't want to be part of the. You're not even a spoke on the deal now. You're like the.
But to your point,
No,
Something that I'm concerned. I don't know if you can have that.
I can wait. No, it does. It fits enough.
hey, where'd mine?
She's.
Do you want to talk to me?
She don't want to talk to you. Very crazy. Very. Saves the day again.
Like,
Yeah.
stay in.
So then he's gonna come and put his name in.
Or, yeah.
Then I'll get rid of his or whatever. I mean.
Like, first, but like,
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Absolutely. Very good seeing you. You still got football tomorrow.
You take care, guys. I'm sneaking right by you. Pardon me.
Go use it. I got a camera set up in there for you. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. You can make it star? I can. For an apple and an orange a week.
So that was there's like a car out there or something.
Came out all right. I was watching. Looked like the fastest film. No, I have an extra one. I have an extra one.
I think we are. Okay, granted, she's sleeping on the couch, so
Does that light shine bright over here? Is it?
Oh, that's not mine.
No. It's ours. But we were just. I just wanted to know what it was like on camera.
Is it on right now?
Yeah, it's on. It don't
It's
seem
not
so.
really doing anything.
Oh, yeah.
You need to probably have it a lot closer.
Yeah.
But I mean, as of now, the color looks good. I don't even think you really need it. Now, nothing's coming through the mouth box at this point. Like that microphone isn't.
Oh no, it's not on. Yeah. You want to test it real quick?
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great.
testing, 1, 2. Testing, try to crank it up some more.
Yeah, that's really loud.
Yeah, testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Keep going. Test, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Where is it? Where is it at? Midway, 3/4. Go to about 3/4. And see if it start picking up. A lot better. Testing, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. That's 3/4. Okay. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Testing, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Testing. That's full. That's Matt. Not. Keep going. I'm a provide it. You know, yeah, 'cause it's better. Like, you can barely hear it going coming out of the speaker. Test. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Test. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. You said it sounds good out here?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2.
Give me 2
1,
seconds,
2.
sir.
Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. Sounds better out here. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2.
Are we on mic or not?
Switch it to line.
It's online.
Switch it. Yeah.
Testing. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's there, but it's just low.
1, 2.
I have it on mic. It's
part.
it's low.
Yeah, it's a little low. Yeah, turn it up. That's gonna be too low. Just back
See, then it
down.
starts doing
Testing. 1,
Yeah.
2. 1, 2. Test. 1, 2.
It's still. I mean, I have
It's
it
still
turned all
low?
the way up, and it's fine. So I feel like it's doable for us.
Okay. Test. 1, 2. What about right there for everybody else? 1, 2. A tad bit more. I think I'm gonna probably have to move the speaker out some more.
Yeah.
That way,
Because we don't need to hear the speaker.
Yeah, that speaker's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
turn it. I would only blaze with that. Turn it out. I would try.
Check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2. You got it? You good? Want to keep going? Check. 1, 2, check. Test.
That should help out.
Yeah, I think so too. Point it that way. Check. 1, 2. Check. Test. check 1 2 1 2 check 1 2 check 1 2. It's Friday, September the 20th.
Let me check mine.
And that's loud.
Anybody here? Everybody okay?
Just hot. What? Huh?
No blood coming out my ears with it.
Hello, check 1 2 check.
I'm gonna come
Check.
back down and I'm gonna try to.
Hello, test. Check. 5:35 September 20th. Hello.
Doesn't sound like crying.
Levels bad.
I mean, it's just lower than it was.
Lower.
That's a little.
Yeah, lower. Levels kind of going down a little bit, Kevin. Check. Check 1 2 check. Works good, better level.
I have no levels.
Maybe has no level. Got them.
Meters reading audio.
Top of the bolt box. I mean, they'll get it out of the bolt box.
And there's not a lot of people out here.
No, I mean, that's just the whoever does all this. Cameras pick up the audio out of the block.
right there to your left.
Okay.
Let me make sure that thing unlocked.
I guess that's why it wasn't propped open.
What?
The door.
Mr. Glee, you got your keys?
He's coming.
Don't worry about it. I think somebody coming.
Will you push that green button? Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll go across this.
Yeah.
Now we talking.
Test, 1, 2, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2.
Look up real quick.
Test.
Okay.
That's better. Test, 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check. Mic check.
I mean, between camera problems and my tripod problems and the audio. That full moon.
Yeah, but at least she looks good. Beautiful.
Test, 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Where's is this good?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2.
That way, just a little bit.
Mic check. 1, 2.
Good.
1, 2. Testing.
Should be good right here.
1, 2. Mic check.
Go anywhere.
You can hear it out there, Fedora? This one? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Everybody good? Everybody still testing? Everybody good? Okay.
No, it's just when you go in, it's like that. Okay.
Who knows what you're
Hey, make sure so they got adjusted.
Yeah, it was this morning.
Blue alert.
Yeah, saying, be on the lookout for this one dangerous character, and I guess they found him.
Right. That's how ours are too. It's like when if I get during the day, I gotta put in like 2 inches here.
Like Chesterfield County, the sheriff was involved, obviously. What? Andy and ours, so they had to
Now we need to, haven't even
investigate.
well played.
Who else wants water?
I'm gonna do one more for the station.
No, we're refreshing. Gladiators?
All in the hope
The Roman gladiator. That's how they should do it as a video.
All right, you ready for one? Okay, sir. You just
Mic check. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. 1 and 2. Testing, testing. Mic check, mic check. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Double check 1. Good. Thank you, man. All right, you welcome.
If it's, hey, Celeste. Sir, if you don't mind.
Mic check 1, 2, testing, testing. 1, 2, 1 and 2. Check, check 1, check, check 2. Mic check 1, mic check 2. Testing 1 and 2. 1, excuse me, 1 and 2. Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2. Check 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1.
Yep. No, just get it put down here for you.
Thank you so much.
You will. There you go.
And if you don't mind, you do a quick mic check.
Oh, yes, of course. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get this one on me. Bring it to the back. I'm gonna loosen it up a little bit more right here. That way.
If you can, it might need to be tight. Yeah, it's been wrapped up a while.
It's hard to get these things on.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, it's gonna need
Oh, there it goes. Okay, good. Thank you.
you will. All right, now I'll do a test for you. Check, check 1, check, check 2. Mic check 1, mic check 2. It's good? All right.
Exactly where I see it. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Right.
Thing good and secure. Everybody good. Everybody good. Everybody good. Everybody good. All right. I'm walking away.
You good to go?
I'm good. I think everybody's good.
Good as gonna get, huh?
Yeah. I'm just mad about the whole speaker thing. It's like we got the speaker and it's like
How you feed them up? Through the speaker?
yeah, through the speaker. It's like our mo boxes. It was too low still.
Maybe we can use the maybe feed it with the mixer next time around.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. But it's not so I have to do it
Yeah.
through the mixer and then into the mold.
What's up?
From the mixer to the mold box. So
Exactly.
you want to know what we probably could have did? Probably ran the microphone into the mixer, into the speaker. That way we could have controlled the levels we were actually we mixer and it would have kept monitoring. Yeah, I would have kept feedback on it.
So we write all this stuff down. We'll have our action. Next one.
Test it out. Test it out.
It's really cool when it was on there. It's a crazy story. You should look in there. It's
or your left pocket. So what I'll do is I'll keep it on. Just keep it on.
Oh my God. I have this one here. What is that thing? Is that just a light? Picture's funny, it takes like so much to power this like driver battery to keep it going for 24 hours.
Maybe it's like a floodlight. It's pretty small for that. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, yeah, talk about that one. Yeah. I wouldn't have read that. I always text that. That's what I was shooting about.
Hey, is it coming too close?
You work with Kevin on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They should be already out this fall. Well, I should be very true. West Coast, East Coast.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah. I'm just doing a backup here just in case my camera starts to
Let me just show you
run out
something
of
real
juice.
quick. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
It's steady, so not really.
Let me know if that works.
Thank you.
It's just your middle sectors. It's like if you need to adjust, it should be levels like that. The only thing missing is the dome.
All you've only got to do.
Should be a car.
Car's already in the second area.
And the extra roll, you can walk it back to.
All right. Cool. Thank you, sir. Have fun at the game.
No, she's supposed to give you a heads up.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. So that's give a heads up.
Y'all let me know if I need an audio.
That's my camera.
Okay.
All the mailbox with that?
Yeah. They have it. So it should be on the
Okay. Okay. No problem.
So will you be coming with the case of the
Absolutely, yeah, I'll make sure the bill is clear.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mic check. Yep. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Good. All right. Everybody else good on the mic check? Need one? All right. Everybody good? Okay. All right.
No, you just did
No, I'm going in. If I can. Can I? Real loud. Oh, okay.
Magical moment. It's like I just started hitting my 2 liter. I was like, come on, just die. You want to take a rest for a little bit. No.
That's right. Sounds really forced on her. reword what they heard from this guy. He's always like pushing to us. We do a lot of opportunities too. That would be probably the second one. Our managers are virtual too. They think that's the best journalism school around. You get a taste of all North and South areas. Do you prefer now being in the South? Positives and negatives. Yeah. I never want to go. I never want to go and visit the winter. I don't miss it. I'm from Pennsylvania. I worked in Ohio and they were like right on the line. I worked like right here and I lived right here. It's funny, I'm like, oh now it's put on the map, I can just say that now. I used to say an hour north of Pittsburgh, but now everybody's heard of it.
Is this speaker still okay?
Oh, was that years ago?
You chance of losing it?
Was it like a rest? So that was your area? What was the name? What's that last? Was it just like a joke that was bad? Now, if I like someone who's probably married, have their own family, how do you keep secret like that whole life, you know? Know that there are 30 others, because you're probably always wondering, oh my God, is one of them going to say something? Yeah. And they're probably all spread out now in different. Oh, Lordy, it's just crazy. Yeah. You know, we need to talk about this. We all need to stick together. So Tucker's girlfriend actually had called one of the boys, like, you know where he's at? Like, how do you follow him? I don't know. Last I heard, he was studying in the library. They said, like, they were actually trying to throw people off until they could figure out what to do.
didn't stop it.
U.S. Supreme
Yeah,
Court.
the U.S. Supreme Court said no, don't stop.
Oh, they did. They just posted that.
I just saw that.
It's just wait. battery was like, that's the worst. Oh yeah, that's another thing, yeah. Like an hour after it happened. I'm like, guys, I got this. I can get you some people that were there. No, I don't have that returned. I don't even have a return. This thing takes forever to boot up when you have reception. So I'm like, let me just have it on so we can boot it up. It's just like you're already done, you're like, oh, never mind, that just So this is all the people in the station. They're good with the news director, so she's the highest of the high. So when I read that, I was like, oh my god. She must be but we use
I want to worry about girls. What I worried about.
I know somebody said something like, what news channels or same type of thing. And they still choose to sometimes do emails and sometimes do text. So like 2 days will go by, you're like, I know they said something somewhere, I just don't know where it is.
Just don't laugh.
We'll make sure you're all right first.
Make sure you're all right. That was the best. You okay?
Just went from green to banana, or green to yellow. Still went to notes in our phones, like we have to remember to talk to Bill on Saturday.
You've been to Mr. Franklin's, I think. Yeah, right at 5 points. Green Street. It's right before you get the railroad.
So, I mean, they got the stage and stuff. So what part of town you live in?
I'm off the 294 right just before you get to San
And then my news director writes, "Oh, good when one reads without glasses. Sorry, everybody."
Yeah, brunch is good. Yeah, no, we just do brunch. It's just me and I just do brunch. I did brunch a couple times. Yeah, that's Garden Fair right there, right? You go there, I guess we try to get there. Most of sets is going like at 1:30. Yeah, they right in the east. Basically, that's late. I realize they got another one there right across the right. I don't know what's going on. It's right there under the
that's like guys who have
no, yeah, the directory. Yeah, I'm passing the statement. So right there, the first building is black. Next intersection. It's right in there. No, it ain't been there long. I mean, it's been there for a few months. It might have been there for a year, but I just noticed you come in a couple months ago. That's right in the trailer. Yeah.
I like them so much. I went to one in Mount Pleasant.
You did? And that's funny. We went to Boca Raton, Florida, which is about an hour. Man, it was right there. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, sure. It
Lisa. Lisa.
My reporter.
Test.
Oh, I assume he's out. I got his cell phone back.
Anybody need to do any new tests or anything like that?
Yes, sir. I read, I googled that a couple days ago.
Check for lighting since the lighting condition changed and everything. If y'all want to test anything out.
pretty sure the sun is going to slowly creep down as this as it start and finish. All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 3. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check. Check 1. Check 2. Check 3. Check 1. Check 2. Check 3. Mic check 1. Mic check 2. Give me a thumbs up if you're good. All right. Is that everybody? Everybody still waiting? Good to go? All right. All right. Everybody's good. All right. Good.
Speakers like that.
Was the speaker? Yeah, it was coming through.
It's facing that direction, so you can hear it if you don't know. But they should be able to hear. Everybody heard me well while I was standing up here, right? Okay. Okay. try to give y'all a 2-minute warning when you're ready to come out. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Everybody ready? Everybody ready? They're ready. Okay. You guys ready? Hello. Is this on? Where's Kendrick? Is this? The capital punishment sentence of Freddie Eugene Owens was carried out tonight pursuant to the order of the South Carolina Supreme Court and in accordance with state law. The execution began at 6:35 p.m. and inmate Owens was pronounced dead by a physician at 6:55 p.m. Mr. Owens was sentenced to death for the killing of 41-year-old Irene Graves on November 1st, 1997. She worked at a Greenville convenience store. At this time, I'll turn over the podium to 3 members of the news media who witnessed the execution. After all 3 speak, they will take questions from the podium. They will not be available for interviews after the news conference because they have to write their own stories. First, Jeffrey Collins.
Yes, my name's Jeffrey Collins. I'm a reporter with the Associated Press. That's JEFFREYCOLLINS. I just kind of walk y'all through a little timeline. The witnesses got into the room, the witness room, about 5:57. So as y'all know, there was a little delay. The Supreme Court apparently needed to make a ruling. The curtain opened at 6:35, and the execution started about a minute later. Owens made no final statement, and in South Carolina, the inmate doesn't make the final statement. Either his lawyer or a prison official reads it, and the prison official said there would be no final statement. You could tell. Oh, okay, thank you, Christy. So the execution was announced to be started about 6:36. When the curtain opened, Owens looked at his lawyer, who was sitting fairly close to him across, of course, the glass. And they exchanged like a little back and forth. You can't hear what somebody says, but you can mouth words back and forth. She smiled at him. He appeared to smile back at her. Once the execution was announced as starting, Owens was conscious for maybe a minute, maybe just a tad bit longer than that, where his eyes were open and he was still looking at his lawyer. There was still regular breathing. About a minute and a half later, his eyes closed. There was about 4 or 5 minutes. Well, right after his eyes closed, there were some heavy breaths, looked like some very deep, almost snoring-like breaths. Then about 4 or 5 minutes after that, there was almost like facial twitches, like little tiny movements of the head, some very shallow breathing, and then it looks like I have down at, I believe, 6:42, that stopped. So there didn't appear to be any movement or motion. About 6:55 or 6:54, the doctor comes in, puts a finger up to check the pulse, puts a stethoscope on Owens' chest, and then she nods at the warden, who makes the declaration that the sentence has been carried out.
Good evening. My name is David Ferrara. I'm a reporter with the Post and Courier. That's David, D-A-V-I-D, F-E-R-R-A-R-A. Tonight, I was one of the 3 media witnesses here for the execution of Freddie Eugene Owens. We came in, like Jeffrey said, shortly before 6 o'clock. There was a delay. We were told that it was because the Supreme Court was reviewing the decision. At about 6:36, the curtain opened, and the drug began flowing after permission was granted for the execution to begin from one of the executioners. There were 3 people in the room with Freddie Owens, in addition to the separate witness room in which there were 11 people, myself included. He made eye contact with his attorney for pretty much the entire time that he was conscious. He said some words to her that weren't exactly clear. His attorney had said something to him, asking if it was bad, and there wasn't a response that was recognizable. The drug stopped flowing roughly about 6:54, and about within the minute after that, the doctor walked in. It seemed like a doctor with a stethoscope around her neck, checked his pulse in his right arm, checked his neck for his pulse, and then put a stethoscope on his chest to make sure that there was no pulse, and about 6:55 p.m. is when he was declared dead.
Good evening. I'm Justin Doherty with Fox Carolina News in Greenville, also one of the witnesses there inside the execution chamber today. To give you a perspective of what it looked like, there were 3 rows of chairs. We were in our own separate room as far as witnesses go. There was several panels of windows in front of us, and there was a dark curtain drawn for several minutes. We entered the chamber at 5:57, and the curtain opened at 6:35. So that entire time, the witnesses were sitting there looking at the curtain. Several horizontal bars were in front of us between the inmate and the glass. Curtains were drawn at 6:35. Freddie Owens was laying in front of us horizontally. And so we could see his head to our right, his feet to our left. He was in a green jumpsuit with a white sheet up to his chest. And as soon as the curtain was drawn, he immediately turned his eyes to the witness room and looked around the witness room and pretty much made contact with each one of us, made eye contact with each one of us. And then his eyes drew back to his attorney, and he gave her a big smile. He looked at his attorney, mouthed several words. At 6:36, that's when they were able to proceed with the execution. From 6:36 to 6:37, he maintained eye contact with his attorney, who is seated directly in front of him. And so she was able to see directly at him. She also maintained that eye contact with him. He was mouthing several words, but you could hear him say bye. You could clearly hear him say bye to his attorney. They were making eye contact. He said bye. She responded, said bye. Then at 6:38, that's when his eyes slowly closed and the heavy breathing and the shallow breathing began. It almost had that snoring sound, and his head was slowly bobbing back and forth. So from 6:38 to 6:42, that continued. The heavy, shallow breathing, the nodding of the head. And then at 6:42, there was no movement at all. From 6:42 to 6:49, there was no movement. Prison official walked over, examined Freddie Owens, nodded his head once, and walked back to his post off to the left. Then at 6:53, the physician walked in. She examined Freddie Owens, checked his neck for a pulse with her hand, took this stethoscope off of her neck, placed it on his chest, and at 6:55, she turned and looked at the DOC officials. At that point, DOC officials said, the case of South Carolina against Freddie Owens is complete at 6:55 p.m.
Jeffrey,
Yeah.
someone who is now witnessed your eighth
Yes.
execution, can you talk about the similarities between the signs that Freddie Owens showed in this as compared to previous of those who have gone through lethal injection executions?
The one of the key differences, this one took longer from the point of the drug starting and the execution beginning until the point in which there was no breathing. Earlier ones, if my memory, I mean, it's been 13 years, but that was more of like a 2 to 3 minute process, and this was maybe a 4 to 5 minute process. That was one of the key differences. Of course, so that was one of the key differences there. As far as the other methods, the other stuff goes, there wasn't a whole lot of difference. I mean, we were in there for 35 minutes almost before the curtain opened. There wasn't a word said. There isn't, except for the prison official announcing that that they were awaiting the Supreme Court decision to tell us that why we were sitting there and it hadn't started yet. No sign of any discomfort. Freddie Owens the whole way through had maybe like a small smile or certainly not a grimace or anything like that during the time that he appeared to still have consciousness when this was going on.
Can you describe what the setup was for the drugs? Was it an IV bag? Was it an IV line? Was it an injection? How did that work?
Yeah, let me explain the room to you. One thing to understand in South Carolina is the IV is put in place before the curtains opened. So the witnesses don't get to see, so everything's in place. Owens is laying on the gurney. Like I said, his feet are to my left, his head's to the right, his arms are stretched out, and there's you can see the IV line comes from a room that's off to the right. It actually comes through a wall. There's a small hole where the tube comes through and goes towards his arm, and it goes towards the arm that's farther away from us. What would be his right arm? So you can't, it's hard to. It's a little bit more difficult to see because you can't see an IV bag or anything on that side of the room. And then there's what looks like, I'm assuming it's mirrored glass because it's mirrored on one side that leads into that room. That's also the room where the physician comes out at the end.
Any other questions for the witnesses?
Can you describe the other witnesses that were?
Oh, yes. And David, you may know a little more than this, but we're sitting in a second row. There's 3 rows. The third row behind us is Christy Shane and a SLED agent. Then the media witnesses are in the second row, and the first row that's right in front of the window, from left to right as I'm looking at them, there were 2 members of the victim's family. There was a law enforcement official and someone from the solicitor's office. And then the 5th seat, which is at the far right, was Emily Pavlova, was Owens' attorney.
What was the reaction of the witnesses, family members, the attorney,
The attorney was, when the curtain opened, she gave Freddie Owens a smile. He smiled back. As a couple other people had mentioned, there was a little bit of mouthing of words back and forth, looked like maybe bye, and maybe that she asked him if it felt bad. I didn't see any reaction from the 2 law enforcement people. And the 2 family members of Irene Graves, they looked intently, they didn't, their gaze didn't look away from him until well into the process when you could tell tell his breathing had stopped. But they didn't react in any other way. There wasn't like any animosity or any, anger or anything. They just kind of gave him a fairly intense stare, but not like a stare down kind of stare. Just looked at Owens.
There were 3 witnesses that were associated with either the families of the victims or the family of Owens. I forgot about the mic thing. Yeah, so there were 3 witnesses that were from families, not from law enforcement or prison officials. One person was from Irene Graves' family. and two people were from either the other victim's family, Christopher Lee, to which Owens had admitted to killing in the Greenville County Detention Center after his verdict. And I figured I'd give it a second. And there were also two unidentified family members that we're just not sure who the names are, that were in the front row and to the left. Could have been family of Graves, could have been family of Owens, could have been family of Lee. We're not too sure. It was two men.
So before you start, did you say spell your name earlier? Did you spell your
Yep. Justin Dougherty, Justin, last name Dougherty, Dougherty.
I was just running that thought through my mind. Again, it's just the somberness of that room. I mean, that was the longest I have waited before the curtain is open. I mean, typically in these things, the curtain opens less than 10 minutes after we get in. Sometimes it's only 5. It's a very short length of time. So that was a long time to sit in silence and wait for this to happen. So that was one thing that was different. And it's like I said, again, the only words that were ever spoken in that room was from the prison official, who explained very briefly what the delay was about. And yeah, that to me was the one that's different about this one than some of the other ones I've been to.
Let me just make a quick clarification. The witnesses in the room included 2 members of the Graves family, an official with the solicitor's office in Greenville, a spiritual advisor, and the inmate's attorney. So those were the witnesses other than us.
I will add, as far as the 2 family members for the Irene Graves family, I was watching them. They were off to the left, and throughout the waiting process, one you could see was growing exhausted, a bit tired of waiting, often closed his eyes, nodded his head. You could tell he was growing impatient, but once that curtain was opened, both of those family members stared directly at Freddie Owens. They did not look away. They looked right at him. And they were positioned essentially right in front of his feet, and they had turned their head to look at his face.
I just wanted to clarify, inside the execution room itself, how many people did you say were in there besides Freddie Owens?
Inside the execution chamber, there were 3.
There were 3 visible people. There was one person that the executioner was speaking to behind a curtain, orally speaking into a headphone to.
Sure.
It was unclear whether there was another person behind there or if he was just talking into a headset and stepping behind the curtain as to not have his words be read out.
I'm trying to find that out.
So there were for sure 2 prison officials visible off to our left. One essentially at Freddie Owens' feet, and another one at a microphone, and then there was another individual straight ahead where Freddie Owens, his head was here, arms stretched out, his left arm pointed at us, feet to our left. There's an individual straight ahead, right at Freddie Owens' waist. And we're waiting for Christy to confirm exactly who he is. And then, so there were 3 visible, and then the doctor came in at 6:53. Everybody.
And Freddie Owens, when the curtain opens, he tilts his head. He's very strapped down. There are straps coming over his shoulders, and his arms are strapped down. But he's able to turn his head, and if he's laying this direction, feet here, head here, he looks towards us, and he kept that gaze in our direction, looking at his lawyer the entire time. So even after he lost consciousness, his head was tilted our direction.
Yeah, to add to as well, Freddie Owens, there was a blanket that was probably about maybe a up to his mid chest. Yeah, about here. White blanket. Green jumpsuit. As Jeffrey mentioned, he was strapped in. It almost kind of, it was over his arms. Yeah, almost like a seatbelt, but over both arms. And he had his left arm had the IV going into it, and the right arm was, I guess it was out as well.
Sorry, can you just go over his positioning one more time and which arm the IV was in?
We saw that.
It was, so Freddie is, so for us sitting here, he is aimed this way, so it was his left arm coming out with the IV going into it. So, yeah, straight out. Left arm was out. He turned his head towards us.
There were no last religious rites or anything that happened in this.
He had no statement. Was that the fellow who was standing almost in his midsection? Was that a spiritual advisor?
The man at the microphone?
No. In other words, like he was right in his midsection.
Wearing fully white.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm checking on that.
Okay. There was someone standing there that Christy's checking, but there was someone standing there, but there was no like outward religious ceremonial anything like that was done. Okay.
And he also made no last statement.
Yeah.
Other questions?
I guess this is a question for you. Is there any information you can say about a final meal?
There is. Give me 1 minute. Is there another question in the meantime?
Well, while we wait a minute, was there any hand movement? I mean, you said he was strapped down, but any movement of his hands at all during it?
The way, I mean, no. Wouldn't you all say not? Because he couldn't. Right. Yeah, there didn't appear to be, because it's like his arms are, there's like a little, like, little boards, but not boards, like it's a medical table, and his arms are strapped out like that. So I'm not sure he could move his arm at all if he wanted to. So,
and it probably wasn't. I mean, it very well could have been, but it looked like it was almost like masking tape that was on his fingers, something along that lines. Maybe it was some form of medical tape, but there was no way that any finger movement, any hand movement, no.
I would say the only movement Freddie Owens made was tilting his head to us, examined the witness room, then made eye contact with his attorney, and that lasted for about 2 minutes, and then he closed his eyes with his head still facing the witness room. And there was no movement besides him turning his head.
In answer to your question about the last meal, I have a question about that, so I'm going to have to just give it to you in a few minutes. Yes. I can't hear you.
Do you have any word yet if the family's going to be taking custody of the body, or what's happening there?
I do not. You need to speak to his lawyers. Are we good? Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, the building's gonna be open for an hour after this, so until I'm sorry.
It's 8:40.
It's 8:40, so
7:40 to be 8:40.
So 8:40. Appreciate your patience today. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your professionalism.
Thank you.
Please be
for us.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thank y'all.
If I could get the media passes back too, do we hand it out? Yeah. Help me.
Do you want them now?
Just whenever. It's your speech. That's fine. Thank you.
Oops.
Thank you. Thank you.